Push, hey, that coast.
And that's the way you roll, just a rebel in the climb with no place to go.
Hey,
push, goes.
Hey beautiful people, it's Success Mentor Dante J. Worth, and I'm back with another video right here on Audacious Believer TV! Woo! Now if this is your first time tuning in, I need you to make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure that you like this video, and make sure that you're commenting down below. Me and my team absolutely love to read your comments. Now tonight, we're being joined by our first male here on Audacious Believer TV! You want to tell the people who you are?
My name is Ajani Jefferies, and I am a soul battery.
So I invited him here tonight to talk about attracting and sending good energy. Now we know that there's a lot of things that combat our energy on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
For you, before I ask you about that, I've been talking about storytelling on the channel as well. What is your story?
My story, well, I feel like I'm from a city where everybody saw it as Rochester, New York, right? Born and raised in Rochester, New York.
Yes.
Ever since I can remember, people were like, "You don't look like you're from Rochester, New York."
Yeah.
So I always had this thing feeling out of place and in place at the same time. In my city, I've always had like a drive to show people that a blank canvas is a beautiful thing.
That's good.
Right. So. Yeah. So as I age, I'm learning that, you know, a blank canvas is you know, sometimes it can be intimidating when you have a clean page.
Yeah.
But what do you put on it, right? You know,
anything you want to, right?
Anything you want to. Yeah. So I'm not sure if that's the best description of my story, but
it's your truth. There's no right or wrong answer.
That's my answer.
So tell us a little bit about what does it mean to have good energy? How do you define good energy?
I can feel good energy when I walk into a room.
Okay.
I think good energy is acceptance of oneself. I think great energy is accepting the elephant in the room and being like, okay, well, we got to stop feeding this thing, you know?
Yes. So tell us a little bit about, I know you talk about in your videos, he has a video series where every day he's sending out positive vibes out into the world and everyone's receiving them. I know times when he's not even paying attention to people are still receiving his good energy because the videos are out there. Why do you think it's important to protect your energy when you're sending out good energy out to the world?
Oh, yes. Wow. That's a great question. I think it's important to protect your energy because narcissism, right? It's like there's so many people in this day and age where the cameras, it's like we all have our own camera. Now we literally do. Right, phones, right? And we point them at ourselves, right? So sometimes people want to take your energy and I call them energy vampires. You know? The energy vampires are out there. So I feel like I think vulnerability is strength, and that's what I get from my videos. So to be vulnerable for me is to be powerful, but I also know that I have to check myself and put this like little gold bubble around me because there are energy vampires that will capitalize on your vulnerability. Right?
There are a lot of people who just suck energy. You know, there's those people you get around and you're just like, oh my gosh, my energy level literally just dropped.
It just dropped
around you, like
it just drops.
Is there a way to combat that?
I feel like praying for people, you know, that's the best way. That's the best way to do it because I know, can we say damn well?
You can say whatever you want.
Because I know damn well a lot of these people not praying for me. They're not
P-R-E-Y-I-N-G, but not praying.
Praying on me, not praying for me. So I know when I can quiet my mind and really send those people love. I think it's interesting the dynamic of a lot of conversations that I'm in, right? If there's a camera on and it's an interview and it's going to be posted on the platform, people will talk a lot differently opposed to if there wasn't. And I noticed that a lot of times when two or more people come together, they focus on negative things about someone else, you know? And I find myself like, yo, I find myself on the other end. Like I feel like I can feel when that's happening
Yeah.
around me. But it's all energy, whether it's, you know, hot water and cold water. They're the same thing. They're just different scales on the measurement. So you can convert that cold water into hot water and that hot water into cold. So
that's good. That's good. So for you, how many times have you ever found yourself in a position where you have had low energy, and you've been around other low energy vibes, and you're like, I need to get out of this slump? How do you do that?
Oh yeah, that's that happens very often. How I do it, I like to just look at people as if whenever that happens, I see my position in life. Right? It's like, okay, well, you are just a quick flash of light, but I feel like it's my responsibility to keep my energy flows where attention goes.
Yeah.
So it's my responsibility to keep my attention on positive things, optimistic things, empire, right?
Yes.
And just doing that in itself and staying focused, people can feel that energy, and they know that their energy is being converted towards a higher cause, right? And my energy is being taken and converted towards a lower cause. Because I'm like, who is Jason? I don't know Jason who at work who did this and did that. Work at Pellegrino, who's like, I don't know him. Like, why am I hearing this negative stuff about him? But I like to take time whenever I hear, and I advise anybody who's out there who would like to just like break through. If you hear like somebody talking negatively about somebody, just say like, well, like, let's just stop and send that person some energy, some positive energy.
That's a good point. I know that for me, I talk to a lot of people who are hurting, who are sharing a story of going through, have overcome some kind of tragedy or trauma. And a lot of times my way of transferring energy is hugging, or sometimes of just a spoken word of encouragement. What's ways that we can pass on good energy without maybe physical touch, or maybe it is physical touch?
Yeah, physical touch. I think physical touch is the #1 way to transfer energy. Sometimes you just need a hug. If you're having a bad day, a horrible day, think about who you've touched, right? Probably no one. Probably no one.
I mean, you could have touched them in a negative way. You like cussing people out on the street behind the old lady, like, get out my way! Like having a bad day. Like having a whole bad day. Like you give me energy though, but that'd be good energy.
But physically touch.
Yeah.
Like, who have you physically touched?
Okay.
Right? Like, because when you physically touch people, your energy just goes. That's why I did 10-second hug. 10-second hug rule. So hugs are the best way to transfer energy. That's true. That's a fact.
That is good. That is good. So for you, I know that a lot of times when we have good energy, we have high levels of energy. People don't expect us to ever be down. They're like, you're always up. You're always having. We have to wear these faces sometimes. How do you stay centered and not allow yourself to be subject to or become victim to other people's expectations of you?
Ooh. Wow, you just struck the soul right there. Because I'm at that place right now. And I figured just to experiment. Right? I know a lot of people got they feel some kind of way about Kanye West right now, but Kanye West has this line where he says, soon as they like you, make them unlike you. And I think that's fascinating to me, because I feel like when you are vulnerable and you are yourself, people are going to disagree with you, especially if you, like with the Soul Battery videos, I'm coming out putting out this charge. I think sometimes, like, what if I was to come out and speak about Black Lives Matter, Me Too, right? My views on that. Before I even respond, I know somebody's at home like,
just waiting.
Fuck this motherfucker. He gonna slip up. He gonna slip up.
Right.
And in that moment, I feel silenced almost, in a sense. I feel like this extreme wave of sensitivity, but I feel like we're being manipulated to think this way, because think about this. Like, what if you asked me, what are your views on women's rights, or the Me Too movement, right? And I just waited and I paused. And then give people time to think. I think that pause is more important than my answer. Because in that pause is when there's a trigger. People are upset before I even say it.
Right, they're like, what are you gonna say?
What are you gonna say? Right? I think that's what needs to be addressed. Right? So that's what I'm finding with people assuming that I'm always positive because they assume it's a facade,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, you know what? To be honest, I mean, 20%. I would say about 22.7777%.
Come on, decimal.
It is because you gotta trick yourself into it, you know, and that takes work.
It does.
They can criticize you for trying to be positive, but have you put up with yourself lately?
That whole part.
Yeah.
So you don't have to become victim to anyone's expectations. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good. So, real quickly, a lot of times we talk about energy. We talk about almost vibrations and things like that. People who may not understand that, they're like, what are they talking about? Like they're being real hippie or whatever. What does it mean? How do you define energy?
I think energy is like I like to think of the word frequency first and foremost. Frequency, it's like when people don't understand what we're talking about, it's like, okay, well, you guys are on 101.3 and we on 105.5. So there are two different, sometimes there's the same song playing, but there's two different songs playing, right? So that's a whole different station. If you're tuned in to 101.3 and we're on 105.5, then you're not going to feel the same energy, the same frequency that we're on. But I think energy is just love is hate, and it's all like one measurement of like I think energy, everything is energy. It's hard to I think Tesla would do a better job at explaining what energy is. I think you just go look up what Tesla said energy was, because my definition of energy is...
This video is brought to you by Tesla. Cut that check. Okay.
Yeah, I know he turned it in the grave right now. What's going on?
But yeah, so are you ready for rapid fire questions?
For what?
Rapid fire questions.
Oh yeah.
Woo! All right. Favorite book?
Favorite book? The Alchemist.
Ooh. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Ooh. Castaway.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Oh, you have to really dig into yourself and be by yourself and get that energy. Okay.
That's Wilson!
What do you see when you look in the mirror?
A lion, most of the time. And I don't even resonate with lions like that, but I see a lion in myself, right?
That's good. What else?
See a boy. A boy. Sometimes I see, every once in a while I get like streaks of a man, but I still see a boy.
That's good.
Yeah.
What do you believe the biggest obstacle to peace is?
The biggest obstacle to peace, accepting duality.
Ooh, that's And to be audacious means to be...
What does audacious mean?
What exactly? What does it mean to you?
I've heard that word before, but I don't recall what it means. What's the definition?
Audacious, it means to be, I wanted you to define it, but I'll define it for myself. To be audacious for me means to be willing to take risks, to be willing to step outside of the box of other people's expectations, to have an energy that is unduplicated, unchallenged,
Ooh, yeah.
I get all my good answers.
That's a good word, audacious. See, I won't forget that. When humility, guys, humility is key. If you don't know a word, admit that you don't know the word.
That's it.
That was then you won't forget it.
That was good, because some people would be like, well, it means to be like pretty and stuff. Like,
and then I went to the mall and I'm changing this up. Like, where you going? To be audacious, for me, I know this is an incorrect answer, but for me, I feel like to be audacious is to be respected by many, loved by most, and hated by more.
So tell the people where they can find you online, how they can find your videos, how they can support you.
Well, you can find me on Facebook at Ajani Jefferies. It's AJANI. I'm just one Johnny. I know it's a lot of Johnnies out there watching this. I'm just one of you. I am you and you are me.
Yes.
Goldenroad.com. That's GOLDNRD.com. Then I'm gonna do a little Disney thing right here. Disney Channel.
I love it.
Yes.
And what about Twitter, Instagram, Facebook?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I said Facebook.
Yep. The Soul Battery, Instagram, and everything else. The Soul Battery.
Awesome. Now, if you didn't know, one more thing, the fun fact is that this guy right here can like skateboard like for hours on end. Like I see him everywhere. Like he like be kick, a push, a kick, a push. Hey, hey. That coast.
And that's the way he roll, just a rebel in the twine when the place goes.
Hey,
push, goes.
Until next time, remember that life is meant to be enjoyed and not just endured. Woo!